My friend, let me ask you something. Have you ever felt like you were not worthy of success? You're not worthy of happiness? And maybe you're not worthy of love. Maybe you may be saying, I'm not even worthy of greatness in my life. You may be thinking, I want to go do something spectacular. I want to go out in this world and conquer it. But who am I? I didn't come from a wealthy family, or I might not have a college degree, or I might not be this person that everybody looks at like they're somebody that should be achieving greatness. Who am I to say that I can go out and do great things? So, friends, let me tell you something. You are that person. No matter how you feel about yourself, I'm telling you now that you are capable of success, that you are capable of love. You are capable of being happy and enjoying a life that is full of victory. And today in this video, we're going to talk about how you can develop self-worth and have it so strong inside of you that you'll be able to tackle some of the hardest things in the world. Things that you thought that you were never capable of, things that your family may have told you that you should stop dreaming and just go on and have a regular life. But sometimes we have that burning inside of us to go out and do something great. And the number one thing that's going to come to your mind is, am I worthy? Can I do this? Those are the questions that are going to be asked. Because how many of you know any great plan, distraction always follow it. If you plan on doing something great, distraction is always going to show its ugly lion head at some point. Give you an example. If you think, I'm going to start getting up early in the morning to do something great, like working out or something like that, then the very first day, when that alarm clock goes off, you're going to think to yourself, why am I doing this? I can sleep in a little bit longer. All that distraction is going to come as soon as your intention is planned. So today, man, we want to talk about how you can be the person that you want to be, that you should be, and that this world needs you to be by developing your self-worth. Okay? So let's talk about it. We hear a lot of times that we're not and who we're not. We see a lot of times that we're not that person that we want to become because of things that are standing in our way. Superficial things. We want to say that I can't, like we mentioned before, I can't do this because I don't have this. And that could not be farther from the truth. You are who you are because of who you think that you are. And you allow excuses to keep you from doing something great in life. And sometimes, those excuses may even sound like they're real, or they may even sound like they should be something that should be stopping you. You might be saying, Andre, well, I always wanted to be an attorney, but now I'm 50 years old. Go back to law school. Well, Andre, I always wanted to be this fitness person. Get on a fitness journey. Or Andre, I always wanted to travel the world. Plan it out. Now, I know I'm making these things sound simple, but guys, when you have self-worth and a self-drive, if you become a person that is driven, you'll see some of these things start to happen if you commit yourself to them. But the number one thing, like I said before, that's going to stop you is you're going to think that you're not worthy of them. So today we're going to make sure that we build you up. And this the whole reason for this story. For this video, I'm sorry, is to make you know that you are capable of hard things. You got to share one of my personal stories. When I was in corporate, man, I was working for corporate companies, top Fortune 40 companies. Man, you couldn't tell me nothing. You couldn't tell me nothing. I knew what I knew. I was performing at my peak. There was no task that I would volunteer for the hardest task because I know who I was. I knew what was inside of me. I knew my capabilities. And I felt in my mind, in my heart, there was nothing that could stop me. There was nothing that could stop me. And guys, I wasn't arrogant. Don't get me wrong, I never was that. But if a task was assigned to me, I was going to do what it took to make that assignment not just complete, but excellent. You know, you hear people all the time, you know, you perform with excellence, right? That was me. I was going to be, not only was I going to meet that expectation, I was going to exceed that expectation. And a lot of times, honestly, I'll be just completely transparent with you. A lot of things that people thought were so great, they were praising and saying, "Oh my God, how did you do that?" And I'm thinking it was easy. It was easy. But guys, as I look back on that, it was because I knew what God had put in me. And I was maximizing those gifts every single day. I was praying about those things every single day. I was asking God for vision and clarity on everything that I put my hands to. I was focused on being the best that I could be until that day. Until that day happened. And you may be asking, Andre, what day is this? The day that I was laying on that bed, looking up at the sky, well, not the sky, but the ceiling in a hospital room. Laying having the anesthesiologist put me under because I had to have heart surgery. That's a long story, but I don't want to go into all of it. But after I got out of that situation, the surgery was done and all was clear. You guys, how many of you know there was a little bit of me that was left on that operating table? Excuse me. There was a little bit of me that was left on that operating table, and I knew something was missing. And I had moved on from the corporate world. I was now working for myself. And I was seeing things differently. And I wasn't able to move the way I used to move. I wasn't able to get things accomplished in the same way that I used to get things accomplished. At work, that is. Working for myself. So I took on another task. I said, well, I can't do that. So I needed another goal to make. And I took on another goal, and that was a physical challenge. I said, they call it a century ride. I heard about this century ride from one of my friends. And he said, we need to sign up and we need to do this race. So I signed up. Yeah, century ride, guys, is 100 miles, 100 miles on a bike. All right. And this is normally typically done in a couple of few hours. So you're moving. But I signed up and I committed to it and I went through the training, 2 months training, to get myself physically in shape, 3 months training to get myself physically in shape to complete this century ride. So I was able to bury myself into this training while just mediocrely going through my life in my business. And I can remember just stressed out, stress would be on me. I would jump on that bike, go pile out 40 miles, pile out 50 miles, go 50, 60, 70 miles. And then that day of the race, I was able to, 1 year after heart surgery, complete 100 miles on a bike. One of the biggest accomplishments that I ever made. But let me tell you this, while I was training for that physical challenge, I was having a mental challenge. I was having a heart challenge, not the pain of the heart, but the love and the drive and the desire to be something great in my business. And I got to tell you guys, it all came down to what I told you I left on that operating table. And that was my self-confidence. I lost my self-confidence because for me, for Superman, this was the first time he had been broken. It was the first time he'd experienced kryptonite. Something actually stopped me and it almost cost me my life. How many of you know when something you go through that dramatic, it pulls something out of you, man? So I lost my identity. I lost all of that greatness that was inside of me to make me want to go do hard things at work for customers, for clients, building a business, building something successful. It was erased because I could not see myself being that guy because I had just found a weakness. And I allowed that weakness to take over me. That weakness became my defining moment. It was defining who I was. It was telling me you do have limits. It was telling me, who do you think you are? It was telling me all these lies that a lot of you probably are hearing yourself. You're hearing, who do you think you are? It's telling you that you have limits. But guys, it took a while. It took a while. And I figured it out. I figured out what I left on the table, and I figured out how to go back and get it. And I got to tell you, this is why I teach this that I'm teaching right now, because I said I have to become driven again. I have to become driven. I have to make myself see myself in a better light. I have to see myself doing great things. I have to believe that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I have to believe that thing. I have to believe in myself. You know, there's a story in the Bible when David and his men had went out to war and they came back and their camp had been completely taken over. The enemy has stolen all their belongings, their children, and their wives. Everything was gone. These guys had just went out and won a major victory. They were happy and excited to come back and tell the tales of their battle. But then they get home and they see a battle that they never thought they would have to fight. Possessions, wives, children, all gone. But I got to tell you, what I'm asking you today is to do what I had to do. And this is what I drew courage and strength from, is this story I'm telling you. After praying about it, after crying about it, after trying to figure it out, all of his men, David's men they're about to turn on him. They're like, we hadn't followed you to battle. This wouldn't have happened. They were turning on him. So he didn't have anybody encouraging him. He didn't have anybody telling you that we can do this, we can go do this, or it's going to be okay. Do you relate to that? Does it feel like you're in the battle all alone, that you're out there going after this thing all by yourself? I know I did. You know, I didn't want to go tell my wife that I was feeling sad, because I'm gonna tell you, this woman thought I was Superman. She truly did. She said, "There's one thing I know about Andre, is he can do what he put his mind to." But I was slipping, and she started seeing me slip. And I definitely wasn't gonna tell her that I knew I was slipping, because I didn't need her not believing in me as much as had stopped believing in me. The guys, David's men, they had stopped believing in him. Matter of fact, they wanted to lay hands on him, right? But David figured this. I got to encourage myself. Oh my God, how powerful is that? I have to encourage myself. When nobody else is around, when the family members are calling you crazy for trying to do something great, when your wife or your spouse doesn't understand what you're trying to achieve, when sometimes they don't even sound right to you, but you know it's inside of your gut. You know it's inside of you that you got to go after this great thing. Sometimes you got to encourage yourself to do what it is that you know that you're supposed to be doing, that you know inside of you is just boiling over with excitement, that you got to encourage yourself to go say, I am going to do this no matter what happens. David mustered up enough strength to encourage himself. It's the same thing that I did when I was pulling from that story. I encouraged myself. And guys, got to tell you, it came back. That bad identity that identity that I left on that table in that operating room. I went back and got it. I went back and got it, and I followed a journey that brought it back to me strong. And that's why my whole business is based around being driven, finding your purpose, your calling, your why, going off being the best person that you can be, the best thing, mastering your craft, doing those great things like that. And then believing in yourself is all the core of driven. And that's what I'm asking you. Find your identity. Develop your self-worth and become a driven person. So, guys, I got to tell you that story. David just tell you he encouraged himself. Then he encouraged his men. They went off and fought another battle. They brought them wives back. They brought them children back. And they brought all their stuff back, plus the stuff that the folks owned too. So, you talking about becoming driven and what comes on the other side. Whatever Satan tries to take from you, when you're driven, when you know your self-worth, you know your self-identity, you can go back and get it and get more. Okay? So we got to make sure that you're knowing who you are. You know who you are. So number one step that you have to take when you've lost your self-identity, when you don't know your self-worth, and you're trying to develop your self-worth, is encourage yourself. Encourage yourself even when it's get to the midnight darkness. You encourage yourself. Number two, speak words of victory over your life. Find affirmations, find scriptures, find out what God says about you. Remember that one person that says something great about you and pull that stuff through your mind over and over and over again. Words have power, guys. You got to remember the Lord created the heavens and the earth with his words. So the things that you speak out of your mouth, they will encourage you. They will make you see a better day for yourself. They will make you, those words will help you see victory in your life like no other. Words say something great. Say something great with your words, and you will see something great come out of you. Shy away, stop, and move away from saying negative words. Don't allow those negative words to get into your mind. Don't allow those negative words to come out of your mouth about yourself. Don't be saying stuff like, this is not for me. I can't achieve this. I'm stupid. I'm not capable. I'm not enough for this. Keep that kind of stuff out of your mouth. Keep the word can't out of your vocabulary. Because the Bible tells you that you can do all things. Speak the word over your life. Speak the word and you encourage yourself with those words. And I'm telling you, you'll start seeing yourself on that journey, man. You'll start believing yourself so much that you never thought things you thought were never possible. You start seeing them. You'll start seeing them. So that's number three. When you start getting down that road of developing your self-worth, you start seeing little small things move. Take notice. Take notice of those small victories. Take that thing and say, I can see the needle moving. I was over here on empty. Now I can see it teetering over. I'm getting filled up with the small things. Write those things down and encourage yourself with those things. Go back and see them every day. Take notes about what happened and say, you know what? I did one thing. I lost 1 pound. Or I ran 1 mile. Or I got my tax ID number. Or I asked her out on a date. So start seeing those small things when you're trying to achieve something great. It's all the greatness that just happened. And I told you guys about me riding the bike. It wasn't about me saying I'm going from 0 miles to 100 miles. It was going to 10 miles and celebrated, going through the soreness, then the pain, then the 20, then the 30, the 40, 50, 60. We got up to 75 miles before we finally did the race. And then we did the 100. We didn't go from the couch to 100. It was a journey, but we calculated and we saw the small victories. And man, I got to tell you, it was so worth it. It was so worth it. So make sure that you're looking at the small actions and giving yourself a pat on the back and saying, this is so rewarding. Can you do that? Can you do that for yourself? Can you do that for yourself? So guys, we've gone through encouraging yourself. And then you got to make sure that you're watching the words that are coming out of your mouth about yourself. And the third thing is you got to make sure that you're appreciating the small victories in your life. And then you'll start seeing yourself become more self-worthy. And you'll start seeing yourself more capable of doing great things. Then the last thing I'm going to leave you with, guys, is watch who you surround yourself with. Like, if people don't believe in you and they're dragging you down, I want to say just give them a small part of your life, but I'm just saying you get rid of them. And when I say get rid of them, I'm not telling you stop loving them, but don't hang with them. Don't hang around them. Don't let them pull you down. Don't let them be an anchor. And you're trying to fly, and you dragging a big anchor behind you because they're so negative. They don't believe in themselves, and they definitely can't believe in you. So make sure you're surrounding yourself with people that say, I believe in you. I trust in you. I see greatness in you. They're not amen people, right? People that amen everything you do and they're not able to speak into your life, you don't want those people around you either. But you want people that say, hey, you said you were trying to lose that weight. I can tell you lost a few pounds. Or I can see, man, you started that business and I can already see you prospering a little bit in that area. I can see you, man. I remember when me and you was talking, you used to tell me that the only reason you're going to run something is because you're running away from somebody because you're scared. But now I see you running and training for that marathon. And those are the people that you want in your corner. You don't want these negative naysayers that's always because they hadn't achieved nothing in their life. And if they don't change who they are, they never will. And they don't want to see you leapfrog them. It's like the crabs in a bucket we talk about all the time. So you got to make sure that you're surrounding yourself with positive-minded people. Negative-minded people have no room in your life. You got to get rid of them. You got to cut them off. Love them from afar, man. But don't spend that much time with them because they will drain you. It's already hard enough to keep yourself positive. But when you're having to fight the negativity of other people, it almost becomes impossible to do. So guys, let's make sure that we're surrounding ourselves around the right people. So let's go to a review real quick. Let's make sure that you're encouraging yourself. Let's make sure that you're speaking positive words of affirmation and success over your life. Find it through affirmation and scriptures, words that you heard from other people before. Let's make sure that you are journaling and taking notes of the small victories. Then let's make sure that you're surrounding yourself with the right type of people. Okay? So guys, I hope this message has helped you. I'm going to give you some homework here in a minute. But I hope this has resonated with you because I see this as being one of the number one things that stop people from achieving great things in life is they don't see themselves in the right mindset. They don't see themselves. And at some point in life, it was taken from them. It was taken away from you and it was stolen from you. Go back and get it. I found a way to go back and get mine. You can find a way to go back and get yours. And I'm telling you, when you see that and you make that change, life will be so much more enjoyable for you. So let's get some homework. Get some pen and paper out. When you watch these videos, always make sure you got pen and paper because I'm always going to give you some bullet points or some homework to do, okay? Write this down. What negative things do you feel about yourself? What negative thing do you feel about yourself? Do you feel that you're not capable? Do you feel that you're not worthy? Do you feel that you're not the right size, the height, the age? Write that thing down. Now, find an answer to that question or that statement. Find the answer that changes that limiting belief that you have. Look in the Bible. Google it. Find quotes. Find affirmations. Watch my videos. Shameless plug there. But find something that is the opposite of what you've been thinking and what you've been feeling about yourself. And then find small actions that you can take based on that positive statement and start walking that walk. If it's, I have to lose 25 pounds, and you don't think that you can, you saying, I'm always fat, I'm always fat, I'm always going to be fat. Take it and change it to, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That might be your go-to scripture. And you're saying, okay, I can lose this weight. What can you do? Identify the things that are keeping you in the weight that you don't want to be at. Is it that you're addicted to chips and sodas? Okay, how about this? The small action says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So I can do this. I can not buy the chips. But I could not buy the combo and buy just the entree. That's a starting point, right? Remember, it's small goals. You say, I'm not going to buy the fries and the drink. I may just get the sandwich and not add the fries and the drink. That's a win, man. I'm not going to buy this stuff and bring it to my house. That way I don't have to struggle with late night snacking because it ain't in there, right? So whatever your thing is, if you want to start a business and it's going slow, that start is going slower than you thought, and you say, I'm watching a lot of TV. Find a way to turn the TV off or get away from the TV. I share this with you guys. I'm trying to grow this business to a higher height than it is now. And I did recognize at night between 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock, I'm watching more TV than I should. And normally around that time, my wife and I, we don't watch TV together because we don't like the same things. But I invited her to sit in the room with me and watch TV. And that's going to make me open my laptop up, put my headphones on, and go to work. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes to get those small wins. So guys, let me tell you this before I let you go. I believe in you. I believe in you. If you've never had anybody else say those words, and when I say them, you might say, well, Andre, you don't know me. I know who you are. I know you were uniquely made by our God. I know that you have greatness inside of you because he put it in you. I believe in you. Follow the tips that we have in this message. Follow the tips that we're going to be putting in future messages. Consider joining us when we open up our community. Consider investing in yourself when we make our products available for you to invest in. But for right now, guys, watch these videos, take notes, and do the work that we ask you to do because it's here to benefit you. But I do need something from you. I need you to subscribe to this to our YouTube channel. I need you to like this video, and I need you to share this video. That helps us out so much. So guys, if you can do that for me, we want those subscribers to grow so we can keep this channel going. And it will mean so much to me if you would share this, like this, and watch this video over again so you can get the full effect of what we're discussing here. So guys, it's been fun. I love you guys so, so very much. I believe that you can do anything that you put your mind to. But until next time, guys, make sure you stay blessed and stay driven.